Hi, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts, and today I'm going to show you how I made this wall hanging feather. What you're going to need to make this feather is a 10-inch dowel, an 18-inch piece of jute, one where is it? One 9-inch, no, one 19-inch main cord. And I'm using this cord here that I got from Hobby Lobby like years ago. And then 18 9-inch cords, 18 9-inch cords. And then 2 beads that will slide onto the end of your dowel. And we are going to get started. So the first thing you want to do is take your 19-inch cord, fold it in half, and then bring it around the top of the dowel and put the ends. Let me zoom in here so you can see better. So take your 19-inch cord, fold it in half. Okay, put it on top of the middle. Oh, why can't I? Okay, the middle of your dowel. Bring it the loop down, and then put the 2 ends through the loop. So this is macrame, and we're going to make a feather. So this is what you should have to start out with, just like that. Okay, next you're going to take a 9-inch cord. You're going to put it underneath. Why am I not in the center? Okay. No, it made it worse. Okay, right there. Did I make you sick? Okay, right there. So you're going to take your 9-inch cord. You're going to put it underneath the 2 pieces there. You're going to try to make it even, okay? Then you're going to take the left cord over top of the 2 cords and underneath the other cord. So it should be like this. Then you take that cord, you put it underneath and then up through the loop there, and then you pull it tight. So you just pull it tight like that, and then you just keep doing that with every single one until you use all 18 9-inch cords. So you put the left one over top of the right one and underneath. Well, okay, you have the whole thing underneath. So you put the left one over top the 2 cords and underneath the other side of that cord. Then you take that cord, take it underneath the 2 cords and up through the loop. So you have it just like that. So this is what you should have. I don't know if you can see that real good, but these are the loopies. So let me show you one more time, maybe 2 more times. Take it underneath. Take the left one over top of the 2 and underneath the right one. Bring the right one underneath the 2 and up through the loop, and then just pull tight. And let's do that one more time because I know I was out of your view of vision. So you have the whole piece underneath. You want it pretty much in the center. So you take the left cord, you put it over top of the 2 cords and underneath the right cord. Then you take the right cord underneath the 2 cords and then up through the loop. And then you pull it tight and push it up. Okay, let's do a couple more. Underneath, the left one on top of the 2 and underneath the right one. The right one goes underneath the 2 and up through the loop. And that's all there is to it. You just keep doing that until you get all 18 of your cords on your main cord, and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm down to my last 9-inch cord. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on. I take the left cord over top the 2 cords and underneath the right cord, take the right cord underneath the 2 and pull it up through the loop on the left side. And then I just pull it up and pull it tight. And then you don't want these to be too tight up there together. And now what you want to do is trim it up into the shape of a feather. So let me back you out a little bit so you can see better. Oh, and there you go. I think you can see that. Maybe first of all, we should go ahead and put our beads on. So let's do that. So I have these beads that fit onto my dowel, just like this. And I'm just going to put some hot glue down in my bead. Not a whole lot, just, you know, a couple drop. Just a little bit. Ow, 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 ow. That thing came through already. Ow, that hurt. That did hurt. Okay. Got that on there. Shouldn't have held it there so much. Okay, I'm just going to put some in there like that. Can't really see it too good. And then I'm just going to push it on. And I make the end of my bead even with the end of the dowel. Ow. Okay. Now, you could put the beads on later on after you finish this, but I just wanted to go ahead and do it. Now I have a piece of jute, and my jute is 18 inches. And what I'm going to do is just tie it onto my dowel rod, and I'm just going to do a simple knot. If I can get it. Simple knot there, and let's do a simple knot on this side. And then when we're done with this, we can hang it up. If I can get this on there, what is the deal? What is the deal? Okay, you want to get yourself a little end there, put it through there, and make a knot. So we have our 2 knots. I'm just going to trim it up a little bit. There and there. Push them to the back. And there's that. Now, what I want to do is trim this up into the shape of a feather. So, you know, the top part's going to be longer and the bottom part's going to be shorter. You want a good pair of scissors for this. So, because you're cutting cord, I don't know where my fabric scissors are, but these are my next best scissors. So, I have that. Probably want to trim this up a little bit too, like that. And let's do the other side. So you want your sides basically even. So I'm going to go here, and then I'm angling up so that the longer pieces are at the top and the shorter pieces are at the bottom. Now I'm probably going to have to trim this one a little bit more. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, just a little bit more there. And you want to make sure these are kind of loose. I mean, they're not up beside each other real tight, because it'll make it curve a little bit. So I need to take some of this off here and some of this off here, and probably a little bit of this. So let's see what we have. Yeah. So this side's a little bit longer, so let me trim that up. Hope I don't have to keep doing it or we're going to have a real short feather. That does happen sometimes. I think that's probably pretty good. So now what you want to do, let me cut these a little bit. They're a little long. There we go, I think. Maybe just a tad more. Okay. So now what you want to do is you want to start unbraiding this. Now this is braided cord. You know, if you want to help yourself out, get just the, it's not braided, it's twisted, I think, twisted cord. But either way, you want to undo all the braids so that, you know, your ends are bushing out. And then with this, multicolored, so it's black and yellow, red, green, and blue. That way you'll see all the colors in the feather. And you want to do that for both sides. You want to do every one of them, even the two at the very bottom. You want to do those. And I'll give you the measurements again for the feather. You want one 19-inch main cord. You want a 10-inch dowel. You want 18 9-inch cords. You want 2 beads and one 18-inch jute cord. So I'm just undoing the braids here. Like I said, you can get twisted macrame cord, and it's a lot easier to undo. Now you can use a comb, however, a comb sometimes takes out all your, or a lot of your cord, and you won't be left with a whole lot. So I would suggest doing it with your fingers first, and then later you can use a comb. Let me zoom in so you can see what I'm doing here. So I'm just taking the braids, and you can like take, with this, you can take one of the colors and grab it and pull it a little bit to get it. I mean, this is what takes the longest in making these feathers. But I think it's worth it because they do come out pretty. I've never made one with all different colors in it like this. So let's see how it goes. So I'm going to do one more on camera, and then I'll do the rest of these off camera. So I'm just taking my fingernails and kind of gripping the braids and separating them. Loosening them up and then pulling them apart. So there I have 2 done on one side, and then I have 2, which you can't even see it, there you go, 2 done on this side. So see what it's looking like, and I'll do the rest and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm going to show you something here. I just have this tool right here, but if you have anything with you know, a small end to it, you can just take it and stick it in the braids there and just get them out. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so what I'm doing is just taking this and going like this. And look at that. That gets it out better than my fingers can. So here, let me show you. I'm just taking this, just going down in there like that. Look at that. That's pretty easy. If I could keep it in view for you. do there. But that's okay. It'll work it out. It'll work it out. Yeah, it's good, good. Here, let me do this one. You see how quickly this is going? So yeah, get you something with kind of a pointy end to it. This is a, I guess they call it a stylus or something. It has a ball point on the end. But yeah, just do that, and you could do it down on your table too. Just like that. Sorry, I'm making a little bit of noise there, but it's hitting my table. So look at that. Look at that. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so I just wanted to show you again. You want to start at the end of it. Take your stylus, and you're just kind of going in there where the braids are and just kind of pulling up, pulling forward. And then it'll come undone a lot faster than doing it with your fingers. And then after you get them all done, we'll trim it up so it looks more like a feather. So you just keep doing that until you get all the strands done. And believe it or not, it didn't take me very long to get this far. I only have a few more left to go. So don't do it with your fingers. Get you some kind of tool or something and do it. So I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, I'm down to one left, and that didn't take very long at all. Once I started using this tool to do this, it's just coming along really fast. If I was doing it with my fingers, I'd still be on the opposite side working on it. So once you get it all done, you want to make sure you have them in the right place. Flip it over. Make sure they're all on the right sides. And if I had a comb over here or a brush, I'd take care of it. However, I don't. So I'm just going to have to brush it out a little bit with my fingertips. But can you see that's looking like a feather? So we need to trim it up a little bit more. This side's a little bit longer, so we want to take care of that. And really, you know, if you have your fabric scissors, you should use those. I don't know where mine is. It's here somewhere. They're here somewhere, but I just don't know where. And then I want to trim this up a little bit. So you want it kind of to curve. You don't want it just to be totally straight. You want the top part to be longer than the bottom part. I should probably back you up a little bit. Let's back you up a little bit. Okay. I need to cut this just a little bit more, just like that. Okay, let's take a look. Does that look like a feather? If it looks like a feather to you, you can stop right there. I need to trim a little bit more right here. But I think that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this. So this is what it looks like. Let me back you up still more. So there it is. I think I do want to put some hot glue on. Well, no, I guess it'll be all right. I do want to cut this a little bit. So there it is. Trim that just a tad. Okay, let's flip it over to the front. How does it look? And I don't mind if it curves a little bit. If you don't want it to curve, you can straighten that middle part up. But I think I'm happy with mine, just like that. What do you guys think? It can be messy, but I think it turned out pretty good. So I'll take some pictures of it hanging on my wall, and I'll get this out to you guys in case you want to do a macrame feather. Alrighty, I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Okay, I'm back. What I decided to do was go ahead and hot glue the knots up against the beads so it wouldn't slip, because every time I picked it up, the jute would slide towards the feather on both sides. So I want it to stay put. So I'm just putting some glue on my knot and on the rod and on the bead there a little bit, so everything stays in the right place. And then I just let that dry. And here it is hanging on my wall. You can do this with just one colored cord, but I had this variegated cord, so I thought I would use it. Again, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts, and if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up, and let me know what kind of crafts you would like to see on my channel. Bye.